But we're talking about the Seahawks. They're undefeated. They're 5-0. What team is the best undefeated team? Right now, the 3 undefeated teams are the Titans, the Seahawks, and the Steelers. And after next week, we're only probably going to have one if the Seahawks win because the Steelers are playing the Titans. But as of right now, who's the best undefeated team, the Steelers, Titans, or the Seahawks?
Team? I'm going to go Steelers. I think the Steelers have the best defense out the 3. I think they have the most – they don't have the best offense, but they have better pieces. I think the only Seahawks, they have the best quarterback, obviously. Titans, they have the best running back. But I think with the collection for Pittsburgh, their O-line, their receiving core is really good, and they have an okay running back. I think they're the best team out the 3.
Yeah, I would also agree. If we're talking who's impressed me most out of these 3 teams, I would say the Steelers, which is surprising because I have not been high on the Steelers all season long. I wasn't high on them coming into the season, but that defense is smothering. Ben Roethlisberger actually looks like he's coming back into form now, coming off of Tommy John surgery, which I didn't think he would recover from. Good for him. I'm happy for him. And that receiving core with Chase Claypool now stepping up is insane. So overall, team-wise, I think that they've been the most impressive. But it's so hard to say because it's 3 great teams. And honestly, if you asked me, like, who would I ride with the rest of the way if I had to choose one of these 3 teams to, life or death win the Super Bowl, I would say the Seahawks. Like, in my opinion, I just trust Russell Wilson at the end of the day to come out on top more than anything that those 3 teams could provide me. Russell Wilson is number 1
Absolutely.
for me.
A1.
Like, I would trust him more than anything else out of those 3 teams.
He's 1, 2, and 3.
My opinion of it is I'm going with the Steelers too, and they have a top 5 defense and a top 5 offense right now in the NFL. And also, what you said, I like complete teams, and they're the most complete team. Tennessee is really vulnerable on defense. We've seen that versus the Texans yesterday. We've seen it against the Texans. The Seahawks, we already know how bad they've been on defense. The Titans, I feel like their defense is what they're going to be. The Seahawks, I have some hope because Jamal has been injured. I have faith in Pete Carroll scheming up something so that defense is better. But I think Mike Tomlin is the best coach out of these guys. I think he's better than Carroll, and I think he's better than Vrabel. I trust the Steelers a lot, and I think they are the best team.
The one thing I was going to say is you look at those 3 teams, and what do the 3 of them have in common? Although they might have done it differently, Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel, and Mike Tomlin are 3 of the better, if not 3 of the best coaches in the National Football League.
And I think Mike Vrabel, he did something really smart yesterday. Yeah. I don't know if you heard about
taking the 12 with the penalty.
Yeah. Mike Vrabel has always been doing something.
It's the second
like
time he did that. He did that against the Jets too.
I remember against the Patriots in the playoffs this past season when he ran out the clock against Bill Belichick. He's a really smart coach. And I like all these 3 teams. I like the Seahawks because of Wilson, most explosive offense. I think the Titans are like, if I were to categorize these teams, the Seahawks are the most explosive and dynamic offense. The Titans are the most balanced attack offense.
They're so gritty too.
Mm-hmm. The Titans are the most balanced and attacked offense, and the Steelers are just rugged. They're rugged.
I have a reference. It's a basketball reference. You want to hear it? The Steelers are like the Detroit Pistons with Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, and all.
Okay, the 07.
Cavs are like
the 04
Pistons. Seahawks are like Cleveland, LeBron, Russell Wilson. Got a bunch of good pieces, but it's Russell Wilson. And then the Titans are like, damn, I couldn't find somebody fast enough for them. But more of the story is I had the first 2, so I'm good.
The Pistons are like, the Titans are like the Jazz or the Nuggets.
I think we have to find a team that's like good offensively, but not
flashy.
I think the best one,
Houston with T-Mac and Yao Ming.
I think the best reference would be like the Nuggets now.
Nuggets?
Yeah, because they're not that great.
Outside shot at competing for a title, but they don't have that superstar that's putting them well over the top.
I think my best analogy was Detroit and Steelers, though. Rugged, tough, defense. They're not
flashy.
You're not flashy.
They'll come in and they'll punch you in the mouth.
And I really like the Steelers.
Proverbially punch you in the mouth.
Because I don't know if any team outside of the Chiefs can really beat the Steelers in the playoffs. Like if they were having the matchups right now, I think they can beat Tennessee And we're gonna see it this weekend. We're gonna see what happens this weekend.
can't wait for
yeah,
that
that's
game.
gonna
Titans
be
played Seahawks or Steelers this week.
Steelers.
Okay.
It's gonna be a great game. I can't wait to see. But as of now, in hindsight, next week I might be saying, "Oh, I was wrong about it." But as of now, I feel like the only team that can beat the Steelers in the playoffs are the Chiefs. Because even everybody ruled out the Steelers this year. We were talking about the Ravens going 15-1.
I'll be the first to admit I've ruled out the
best
Steelers.
roster, best all
Actually,
this.
if you ask a few of my friends, I actually picked the Steelers to do some damage.
I
ain't
just
gonna lie.
my
They
big,
just need a quarterback. That's all they
that
needed.
was my big question on the
needed a
Steelers was,
quarterback.
could Big Ben come back from a Tommy John surgery, which for him,
That's what they call it.
yeah, he got the baseball surgery. And, you know, you look at what he's been his whole career, he's been a gunslinging quarterback, and I just didn't know if he could recover from such an intensive surgery on his elbow, and he has done it. I give him all the credit in the world. And another thing that stuck out to me was he's never seemed to be the hardest worker. You know, there's been clips of him in practice messing around during drills and stuff like that. And, you know, what concerned me was he going to be able to put in the effort to come back from such an injury. And I give him all the credit in the world because he's totally proved me wrong on that.
So, different question. Which team stays undefeated the longest?
I think the Seahawks would be the obvious pick.
I think it depends on the schedule.
One of the Titans and Steelers is going to be out this week.
Yep.
So
It's between...
Steelers have a cakewalk after this.
It's going to be between the Titans and Seahawks or the Steelers and Seahawks.
yeah. And I think the funniest thing out of any of this is that I don't think that any of the three of them
Who
are
do
the
the
best
Seahawks
team.
face?
No, I did it because the Steelers played Titans, then Ravens, then Cowboys, then Bengals, then Jaguars, then Ravens again. So I don't know about them.
And the Seahawks, I'm pulling it up right now.
They face the Cardinals this weekend.
Yeah.
Cardinals, I think, are blowing out Dallas right now. And Titans got Steelers, Bengals, Bears, Colts. I don't think none of these teams go undefeated for very long.
Ooh.
I think the Seahawks probably have the best
The,
chance.
the Seahawks have Arizona, San Francisco, Buffalo, the Rams, then back to the Cardinals. That's a tough stretch too.
Yeah, it is.
None of them have an easy road. I think that the Steelers had the toughest road because I think that they play in the toughest division in football right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's going to hurt all three of those teams come playoff time if they're all three of them are playoff teams because they're going to be beating up on each other. The Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns. You know, and as
I
much
think the
as that's a
Ravens
good
and the
thing,
Steelers can easily go 2-0 against the Browns, though.
yeah, no doubt, because I think the
And
Browns.
that's 4 killing losses for the Browns.
But I also think that the Browns are. No, like I wouldn't bet against the Browns either. It just depends on where they go from here on out. I think that the funniest thing, I'm going to say Seahawks, just because even though those are a couple tough games, I think that they should win every single one of them. But I think the funniest thing is that none of the three of them are the best team in the league.